Okay, I think the live stream is up and running. So this evening we are going to be taking the DC6 in Flight Simulator 2024 for a flight from the last place we landed at, which is Photharam in Thailand, down to the border of Malaysia. So let me just show you where we are. We are over here. So if I zoom out slightly, we're just to the west of Bangkok at the moment. Little airfield called Photharam, and we're going to fly down, go VOR hopping down the coast of Thailand towards the border of Malaysia. So we'll just cross the border and land just inside Malaysia. So this is I believe the 23rd leg of the round the world trip. It's about 550 miles today. So we'll be, as I said, VOR hopping just to make it a little bit more interesting, because we'll be over lots of uninhabited land along the way. Should be good fun though. Okay, so as I said, we're in the DC6, so we'll get it up and running. So I'm going to be working through a checklist of my description. Oh, it's worth pointing out we've got Say Intentions running in the background. So Say Intentions will be injecting aircraft and providing air traffic services for us to talk to, using my own voice. So I am going to do a video very soon, kind of a long-term test review of Say Intentions, because I've been using it for a couple of years now and really enjoying it, and it's very, very good. Okay, without further ado, let's start looking around the airplane then. So we're going to go over to the tablet and make sure the ground power is on. It is. Then overhead, we're going to go and turn the power source to the ground power, which is here. And then battery and ground power switches. But yeah, master, battery, gen, and ground power. Hang on a second. I'm just refreshing my memory of where all the switches are on this thing. Battery and ground power to on or up. I'm just wondering if I'm going out of my mind here, or if my instructions that I've written down are completely and utterly wrong. So we've done that one. There we go. And then beacon to on. Sorry, I'm distracted by other things that are on my desk at the moment, which is why I'm going quite slowly, but it does mean I'm doing things in a very methodical manner, which is also good. So we're going to put the beacon light on, because we're going to start the engine soon. No smoking light also goes to on. And then the seatbelt sign also goes to on. Inverters in the middle, inverters number 1 and 2 go to on. And engine instrument section in the middle, engine inst to normal. And then master, battery, and generators, they can all go to up. Okay, so then further overhead, I think I've got this mapped. Oh, no, I haven't actually. So shift and interesting. Okay, yeah, so this is the correct view that I want. We're going to go and rotate the cowl flaps to 22 degrees open. So if I go and press this, then we can see it a bit more detailed. Going to open them all the way up. So what that actually means is these, oops, I'm opening up these vents around the outside of the engines. Okay, cabin pressure controller at the bottom right. Set the cabin pressurization. So it's over here. We're only going to be at a few thousand feet today. So you can see here, look, we've got the cabin and the flight. So we don't really need we're not going to be high enough to need to pressurize the cabin, basically. Okay, so done that. Radios. Let's go turn all the radios on. So ADF on, and then GPS on, and press enter on it. And then the COM and nav radios. This is COM and nav 2. I made a mistake when I looked at this the other day and completely forgot that COM 1 nav 1 are inside the GNS 430. Easy mistake to make. Pedestal. So shift and 3 brings us down here. Fuel selectors need to go all the way forwards to get the main tanks, basically. Then back overhead, cabin heat master goes to up. And then we go through starting the engines. So make sure the mixtures are off. They are. Then shift and 3 brings us over to the propeller RPM, goes all the way forwards. Throttle levers crack open to about 10%. And then we're going to start the engines in order. So go overhead, rotate the engine selector to engine number 3. Then safety goes up, so this is the switch here. So we can start, and then on the count of 3 we prime, which is the left. The count of 6 we boost, and then wait through the count of 9, and count of 12 we rotate the magnetos to both. Okay, so
3, 6, 9, 12.
And then come down here and turn the... I've not got the booster, I've got the wrong button mapped, haven't I? We may have to do this again. Let me just check this again. Oh, I see what it did. Right, let's go again. So I've got the wrong, or I read the wrong piece on my instructions. Once I've done it once, I'll be fine for the others.
6, 9.
So mags are already on, and then mixture goes to auto rich. Okay, I'm going to have to go back through that. I didn't turn the mags back off, did I? I'll get it right eventually. If you don't do this regularly, then you get out of practice at doing it.
3.
Actually, should we go and turn the boost pumps on as well? That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Boost pump goes to high for number 3.
3, 6, 9, 12.
There we go. So then shift and 6, turn the boost pump back off, and we have a good engine start. Okay, next engine is going to be engine number 4. So boost pump on for engine number 4.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Come down here. And we've got engine number 4 running. And we'll do the other 2. So then engine number 2 is next. So we come back overhead. We rotate round to engine number 2. We take the boost pump off engine number 4, put engine number 2 boost pump on.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Done it again. Keep pressing the wrong button to get down to the bottom of the screen. And that's that one done. And then engine number 1, shift 6 brings us overhead. Turn the boost pump off for engine number 2 for the moment. Put the boost pump on for engine number 1. Turn the engine selector around to engine number 1.
3, 6, 9, 12.
And we have good engines. Let's go and have a look at the RPM gauges and see what I've been doing to them. Let's bring them down to about 1500. Oh, it's going to shake the thing to pieces, isn't it? We'll just take it out of the shaking range. And just let them warm up gently. So then shift and 5 is on auto rich at the moment, which is fine. So the main boost pumps are off. Post engine start then. So back overhead, we can go over to plane power now. The ground on the battery power stays on, that's fine. Then back in the tablet we can go and remove the ground power unit from the aeroplane. And we can prepare to taxi at this point. Engines are up and running, there's not a lot more to do. So we can remove the gust lock, get the flaps to takeoff position. So let's pull those engines back to about 1000 RPM. Oh, I don't want it to shake too much though. How are the needles doing? Yeah, they've settled down now, look. Okay. So, lined up. Okay, we haven't lined up on the runway yet, but I'm going to get some other bits and bobs done. So we're going to go and get our clearance. Where are we? Say intentions. We're going to talk to the tower here at Photharam. Is it Photharam? I can never remember the name of it. Photharam, sorry. Let me get a little NavMap out of the way. So we're just going to go talk to tower for the moment, because they haven't got a specific clearance frequency. And we today are going to be Douglas November 6 Papa Bravo. Tower, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, requesting clearance.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, say your destination and requested altitude.
That's interesting. Okay, so I wondered if they would do that. I'm always trying things out to see how much leeway they give you, because I've just been reading a technical article about some advances made in Say Intentions about its understanding, and I think we're going to see some nice surprises today, and that was one of them. So we're going to now I'm going to tell it the place name rather than. So we're going to Kota Bharu, just over the border into Malaysia. So we're going Khota Bharu, and we're going to fly 5,000 feet most of the way. Tower, Douglas November 6 Papa Bravo, requesting clearance to Khota Bharu at 5,000 feet.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, information correct, cleared to Khota Bharu. After departure, fly radar vectors HHN, then as filed. Runway
that's
03,
interesting.
initial climb 5,000, departure on 120.5, squawk 4624.
I didn't give it information, but I've got the realism, or I've got the strictness turned down, which is why it let me get away with it. So that's good to know. Cleared to Khota Bharu. After departure, fly radar vectors, Hotel November. then as filed, runway 03, initial climb 5,000 feet, departure 120.5, squawk 4624, Douglas, November 6, Papa Bravo.
21, clear for option. Hotel Sierra, Echo November Sierra.
So 4624 on the transponder.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, read back correct.
So we can get this out of the way and turn this on. 4, 6, 2, 4. Let me just double check that. 4624. Departures on 120.5. But we're on tower at the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this flight operated by Royal Sky Airlines.
So we're going Hotel November direct, and if we go and look on our flight plan, that is the first. So let's go and sort out the GPS while we're at it then. So I am going to cheat slightly. I'm going to go to the flight planner. I've already saved the flight into Microsoft Planner. So if I go to route and open, load from web, I should see it there. And then I can send it to the avionics suite, and there it is. Which just gives me a nice visual indication of where we are in terms of the plan along the way. We won't be using it for guidance. As I said, I'll be VOR hopping. So let's go, before we go anywhere, let's go and check how much fuel we've got on board. So that's overhead, and we haven't got a tremendous amount actually. So I'm going to, again, cheat ever so slightly, come into here, go flight performance, mass balance, fuel, and we're going to load it from here. So we'll take it up to 70%. We won't use anything like that amount, but it's nice to have. Okay, so we haven't got taxi lights, but we have got
Hotel
landing
Sierra,
lights.
November Kilo Whiskey, runway 21, winds 210 at 3, cleared for the option.
21, cleared for option. Hotel
We
Sierra,
don't,
November
we're
Kilo
not going
Whiskey.
to altitude. We don't need extra performance for takeoff, so water injection pumps are not needed. I'm just wondering, do we want the... Do we want them on flash? We probably do actually. Position lights onto flash for takeoff. Rotate the cowls to 4 degrees for takeoff. And well, we'll taxi out as well, but it's not going to hurt them to be at that level. Okay. Oh, and the static vent needs to go on or up. No, I need to remember where it is. Shift and 6. Static vent is down the bottom here somewhere. Here it is. We are going to have to get pushed backwards away from the trees. At least a little bit.
Cabin attendants, arm doors and cross-check. Welcome aboard this flight number 0507 to Kota Bharu, with an estimated flight time of 3 hours. Please pay close attention to the following safety demonstrations.
Okay, so we need to go, while they're doing the cabin crew instructions, we'll go and get our taxi instructions. So if we go and open Navigraph as well, and zoom right in on ourselves,
Please return your seat backs and tray tables to the upright position.
we want either runway 03 or 21.
Ensure your mobile phones and electronic devices are set to flight mode, and larger devices must be securely...
Tower, Douglas, November 6, Papa Bravo, requesting taxi to runway for departure.
Masks will drop automatically if needed. Pull the mask firmly, place it over your nose and mouth, and breathe normally.
Douglas 6
Life vests
Papa
are
Bravo,
located
runway
under your
03
seat.
taxi at your discretion.
Fasten it and inflate it only after leaving the
Runway 03, taxi at our discretion, Douglas, November 6, Papa Bravo.
There are 2 exits at the front and 2 at the rear of the aircraft. The nearest exit may be behind you.
So,
In case of
immediate turn to the right,
leave
and
all
then
personal belongings
we're on our way.
and follow the cruise instructions immediately. If any electronic device becomes hot,
I'm not sure we're going to fit past that
please
building.
inform a crew member immediately. The safety information card in your seat pocket contains full details. Thank you for your attention.
Ah, that was handy. We're going to need every bit of runway we can get.
Approaching runway 3.
Okay, so propellers are all the way forwards at the moment. Hopefully this shouldn't damage the propellers too much, but we're going to go and bring them up to speed while we're on the ground before we do the takeoff run. So let's just, before we take off, yeah, we're going to need to turn right to 170 degrees.
On runway 3 remaining. 3,100 feet.
Just going to bring the propeller speed down a little bit. I don't want to hold the engines this fast for too long.
Approaching
fine.
runway
Gear up.
3.
Big lazy turn to the right. Flaps up a notch. A bit of extra backstick to counter for it. Giving it a bit more power just to get us up to speed. Speed's building up to 120 knots now.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, contact Bangkok Control on 120.5.
Contacting Bangkok Control 126.5, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. Bangkok Control, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, departing Photharam en route to southern Thailand and onto Malaysia. Why does that keep coming up in front of us?
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, Bangkok Control, radar contact. Climb 5,000, turn left, heading 160, then direct HHN when able.
Turning left 160, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. I was hoping to do an orbit of the airfield, but they're sending us straight on our way. And climbing 5,000 as well, obviously. Coming up to 2,000. This one's 70 degrees, And 160 degrees. Cow flaps can come down a bit. Okay, let's go and have a look on the route. You can see we are fairly close to the route, a bit to the east of it. Coming up to 4,000 feet. We'll start having a play with the gyro pilot in a moment. Okay, so cruise notes. Fuel boost pumps can actually go to on. Cowl flaps can go to cruise.
Thai Air Asia 661, flight level 240. Thai Air Asia 661, roger.
Just creeping our way up towards 5,000 feet. And we'll move the mixtures to auto lean in a moment. Right, so I'm going to get the gyro pilot up and running. I'm just going to get this trimmed out before I go and look down in the cockpit. Just above 5,000 feet. Didn't quite do it quickly enough. It should be okay actually. It's more or less there. I've just realised I didn't calibrate the altimeter, which is naughty. And that's levelling us out at 5,000, which is quite nice. We were out by the right amount. If that makes any sense. Yeah, I'm not quite happy with that though. Let's go and just give ourselves a little bit of descent rate to get down to 5,000, and then we'll go and re-engage altitude hold on the gyro pilot. And then we'll start playing with radio beacons. Okay, so we want to go to 113.3. So we'll go and switch this over. 113.3. Switch it to active. Turn this to VLOC, which then gives us the omni-bearing selector, and it's obviously halfway around the compass wrong, so we're going to have to... Oh, we can drag this, can't we? I always forget that. There we go. So we want to be going about 170 degrees, and we are. So we are flying straight for it, or thereabouts. Do we get distance measuring kit? Yes, we do. Look. So let's turn that on. It's showing 46 miles to go. Something that would be quite cool, I don't know if this aeroplane will do it actually. I've not tried it in the 2024 variant. At the moment we're doing gyro pilot. We can also do localizer. So, which means it will track the needle. Should we try it? So if I was to disengage the autopilot from the aeroplane, hopefully it won't vanish off too quickly, and then we'll turn those off, turn that back to approach, turn that back on. Oh, we have to go and choose this to GPS. And will it work? No, it won't. Okay, we won't worry too much about that. We'll be gyro piloting it all the way then, which is fine. We need to put this back onto V-lock. Oh, we could have done it with V-lock as well, couldn't we? Actually thinking about it.
Flight level 340.
So we're fairly close to the needle at the moment. Let's try it once more. So we will turn this off, disengage, go to here, turn this back on. It's not going to have it, is it? Oh, that's only the gyro pilot switch though. Yeah, it's not having it. Okay, don't worry. Okay, let's go and have... Oh, I was going to go and sort out the mixtures, wasn't I? So we're going to go to auto lean now. Except these are not moving. Why not? I'm good at breaking airplanes, aren't I? There we go. So we have a comment in the live stream saying, anyone know what Eurofighter is better, the CJ Simulations or India Fox Techo? Is there much difference? There isn't really a lot of difference.
132, flight level 170.
I would say, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, I think the CJ Simulations plane flies better than the India Fox Techo one. There's a huge step in the flight model where it goes into high alpha, which makes it really difficult to fly. Certainly at landing, it's not a very smooth transition on the India Fox Techo version. The CJ Simulations just seems smoother and easier to fly. And I don't think either of them are right, but that's probably a limitation of the flight sim flight model more than anything. Okay, so for cruise, we want to get the engines to manifold pressure between 30 and 35. And the RPM should be 21 to 2300, which we've already got. Well, we're on the higher end of that. Let's go for the middle range. Or maybe a little bit faster. Okay, so having done all of that, let's go and see how we're doing on the engine visualizer. We're okay. Cylinder head temperature is looking a little bit wrong. That's because we're running... So yeah, it's complaining about the carburetor temperature. So what we're going to do is just go and warm them up a bit. And it's stopped complaining now, look. So it's still complaining about cylinder head temperature. Let's go and have a look. So... it's not too high. It's just a little bit high. So if we just run lower manifold pressure for a while, it will cool it down. And we could open the cowl flaps a bit more just for a while. It'll take it a few moments to start moving. So they've all gone green now, and now it's complaining about the carburetor temperature being too hot, so I went too much, so we'll just move them just off the bottom here. There we go. We are happy. So, where are we in the world? We're about to go corkscrewing off across the ocean, which we don't want to do. So, let's go and have a look at what we need to do with the gyro pilot, shall we? We've just been letting the aeroplane fly itself for the last little while. This is the omni-bearing selector look. So, if we turn this in towards the VOR, we want about 190 degrees now. So, here's the actual direction we're going. And here's another one showing the same sort of thing. Remember, this is reversed. So the gyro pilot, we can just turn the aeroplane gently. The silver button zeroes it, remember. So it's slowly turning. You can see it here as well on the directional gyro. We are now flying directly at the beacon. Of course I haven't retracted the flaps, I just looked at the live stream comments. That's why we're not going too fast. I thought I'd already done that earlier. Maybe, oh, I only retracted them to their minimum setting. So they were only at, like, I don't know, 5 degrees or something. We just closed them up the last little bit. It's a nice looking aeroplane, isn't it? You can retract the lights as well, actually. Although commercial traffic, you're supposed to keep them on below 10,000. I don't think this flight really counts as a commercial flight. Basically, we're going to fly all the way down the coast of Thailand until we get to the border of Malaysia. So basically all the way down, look. It's going to be fun in places because obviously I've penciled in here the Takan station, but as non-directional beacons, so we will play with the ADF along the way as well. So we'll actually get the ADF gauges up and running for a change. I don't know if we've got many of them around actually that we can play with. Let's have a look. Well, there is one here, look. 213. I'm just going to turn my head tracking off for a moment so I can do this accurately. The range on them tends to be horrifically short normally, so yeah, it hasn't got a published range, look. We should be showing it though. It's interesting, why is it not working? Oh, did I not turn this on? It's on. There we go. And it's working. Obviously we're about to fly straight past it, but because it's over here. So we need to change course to 191 degrees. So if we, instead of tracking straight to this now, we'll change this to 191 or thereabouts on the Omni-bearing selector. It will pick it up in a moment. We're right on top of it. So it's lost the signal. Just wait for it to pick up and we'll start turning as well. Oh, we've got no signal up here. What's happened with that? 113.3. Interesting. Could that... Oh, I wonder if there's a bug in that then. When we tried to engage this earlier, I wonder if it wiped out the frequency. And I wonder if that's why the gyro pilot wouldn't connect. So we need to wait anyway for the needle to sweep back in. It should come back in. Here it comes now, look. So when it gets near the middle, we'll have another play with that. Although we're going to be going on towards this NDB in front of us, aren't we? So 320. Oh great, so it won't let us go over the end. We'll have to go this way. And that's swinging
Number
around.
6 Papa Bravo, traffic at your 12 o'clock, 3 miles at 4,000 Duke.
Copy traffic at 12 o'clock, 3 miles, 6 Papa Bravo. So if we have a look on the map, we can probably see them. Is that it? Nope. Nope. Okay, we won't worry too much about them. Okay. 12 miles from the last beacon. So when we reach 50 miles from it, now what range can we get on it? $130, yeah. So we'll be able to reach that. So when we get to 50 miles, we'll switch to the next one and show information for this one. That's 130 mile range, so we can just switch frequencies when we get to the Takan. I thought this might be fun though. Now we're fairly close to this. If we keep an eye on that frequency, let's see if it zeroes it again. So it's 11330 at the moment, yes. So we're going to go and pull the clutch on the autopilot, turn this off, then turn this to localizer mode, re-engage it. It won't, will it? Oh, I wonder if I have to have that on. No, it's on V-lock. Interesting. Because as far as I was aware, you have to switch these on before you lock that. And yeah, we've gained a little bit of altitude, so let's go and get rid of that. Whoops, don't want to do that. So I'm just dialing down this to get back to 5,000 feet. I'll have to have a read up on that. I'm sure it used to work fine in 2020. I may be missing something though. So this altitude is just bleeding off. So, just reading the comments there about the Typhoon. The India Foxteca one is great, but you will no doubt have noticed as well, it becomes very pitchy at low speed. It's like there's a high alpha flight model in there, and it switches between flight models, or that's what it feels like. Maybe the real airplane's like that, I don't know. But the CJ Simulations one is obviously simplified, but it still flies really nicely. Okay. So we're heading on down towards the next waypoint. There's a bit of wind in play, look, 22 knots, which is pushing us away from the track. So I'm just steering into it gently. obviously we can see the map up here. I wonder. Yeah, that only works if you've actually got it installed then. Oh no, no, tell a lie, look, it's coming alive. Ooh, that's a nice trick if we can have it. We're installing a GTN XI. It still won't solve our autopilot problem, but it gives you a nice view. Anyway. I think there's kind of a charm to using a traditional Garmin. I know people don't like these, I actually quite like them. Having constrained tools forces you to think in terms of the tools you have. Well, that's what I always think. We can tune in the next beacon, by the way, we'll be able to see it by now. So 110. Oh, look at that. It's actually broken, hasn't it? Unless I flicked something in the cockpit which has caused it. Anyway, we've just switched to 110 and we've picked up the signal. So we should be good in a moment to tune to 200 degrees. So if we take this out to 200, and we're almost there, look, so if we turn 200 now, bearing in mind because of the crosswind we'll need a little bit more than 200 to maintain the 200 degree radial. So the airplane's just coming around. And we'll level it out. So we've gone a few degrees beyond. And now we're heading off down. The next 70 miles takes us down to Champfon. We don't have a tour guide in the cockpit with us today. We've only got the cabin crew and the co-pilot. We've got Amanda sat next to us. Hi Amanda, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Jonathan. Just focusing on the flight. Let me know if you need anything related to the radios or the flight.
Why does this keep coming up to the foreground? That's something I've done. Oh, I think it's when the data changes. I bet there's an option for it. So, good morning New Zealand. I'm just reading back to the comments. Now we have a few minutes to pass the time. Have we got a DME, by the way, reading down? Yeah, we have. Look, 78 miles. It's working. Cool. We are slowly drifting off to the left of the needle, though, so let's go and give it a few more degrees. Right turn. It's not holding it against the wind, is it? So I'm just going to wait for the directional gyro to turn a little bit more. And then stop it there. I mean, obviously we can see it on the GPS here. And I'm guessing, I mean, we've got the non-directional beacon here. Yeah, they don't show the ranges here anymore. They used to. They're usually pretty pathetic range. There's another one down here, look. 279.0. But there's no point tuning that in until we're halfway towards it. Just get a nice view for you. I'm going to get Amanda to take care of radios for a few minutes while I go and make a coffee. Hi Amanda, can you take over the radio communications for a few minutes?
Sure, Jonathan. I'll take over the radio communications for you.
Okay everybody, I'm going to go make a coffee. I'll be back in a bit.
Bangkok Control, Express India 882, flight level 260.
Express India 882, roger. Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. Contact Bangkok Control on 118.35.
Contacting Bangkok Control on 118.35. Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. Bangkok Control, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. Good afternoon with you 5000.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, Bangkok Control identified. Good afternoon, QNH 1008.
QNH 1008, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo.
Okay, I'm back. I'm just going to go and refresh our memory looking at the what we've got tuned in. So 320, let's go and have a look. So we want to go and tune to 110. No, sorry. 279 for the non-directional beacon. So if we switch that over, yeah, it's going to go dead. It's not going to pick it up. Not until we're a bit closer. Thankfully, we have the VOR radio is easily capable of doing this. I'm going to turn a couple more degrees in. We're losing against the wind, so I'm going to go to 210 degrees. Oh, it's because the wind has got up a little bit more, look. It's now at 24 knots. So we'll see how we go. We were edging ever so gently towards the track. So, what can I tell you about some of these places along the way? Or do we cheat and I go and ask? Actually, I guess I could show you some of the functionality of Say Intentions while we're doing this, couldn't I? So if I pop open the settings for Say Intentions, we can say if we want some tour guide in the cockpit. At the moment, oh, we have got a tour guide on COM3. Okay. So within here we can go to controls and we can say channel 3 is not mapped. What is it? Button number 9. Now, which is button number 9? I'm guessing it's this one. Yes. Okay. So we can play games with putting different people, and you have a selection of people you can choose for different roles. So for example, you saw earlier that I had co-pilots. There's a vast range of co-pilots now, and you can go through them, read about them, and you can obviously choose them and see what they sound like, so you can preview their voices. He says famous last words.
Just give me a shout if you need me to repeat the departure briefing.
Okay, and so on and so forth. There's loads of them. You also have different cabin crew teams that you can have. So I think I've got Caroline at the moment, which is this one. And they're all animated as well, which is quite cool. They're using AI obviously to do all of that. It's very clever. So that does mean, though, we can now talk to Sarah on the button, and she can tell us a little bit about the places we are flying through at the moment. So if we go and put our view out over the nose. Hi Sarah, what can you tell us about this piece of coastline?
This stretch of coastline is part of Prachuap Khiri Khan province, known for its long sandy beaches, dramatic limestone mountains, and fishing villages. It's a favorite spot for both local fishermen and migratory birds, and sometimes you can even spot wild monkeys along the shore.
See, one of the nice things about the tour guides is you can have conversations with them, not strictly about what you're doing. Hi Sarah, are you going to Flight Sim Expo this year?
Oh, I wish I could. But as your trusty tour guide, I'm stuck here in the skies with you. No expo booths for me, just beautiful views and aviation trivia.
What's the name of this headland we're just coming up to?
That headland up ahead is called Khao Lom Muak. It's a striking limestone mountain that juts out into the Gulf of Thailand and is famous for its panoramic views and the wild, dusky langur monkeys that call it home.
How big are those monkeys?
Dusky langur monkeys are pretty small. They usually weigh between 6 to 9 kilograms, about 13 to 20 pounds, and are around 50 to 60 centimeters, 20 to 24 inches tall, not counting their long tails.
Now you know. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I was talking to a friend recently and they asked if I might do I mentioned at the start, a retrospective looking at some of the features that Say Intentions adds to the simulator, because it does an awful lot. So I only ever touch on, I scrape the surface of it really during flights, just using the air traffic services. And I say just using the air traffic services. It shouldn't be kind of discounted just what it's doing. It's an amazing piece of technology really, that it's able to vector and work plans out on the fly and sequence you in with other traffic, and to allow you to turn the amount of traffic up and down as well. And obviously you'll see other other simulator users while you are flying it and hear them. Okay, 30 miles until we hit the next beacon, or not hit it physically, but pass over it. So there's our intrepid co-pilot this afternoon, Amanda, who is she's looking after the radio comms for us along the way. So how are we doing on the temperatures now? It's a lot happier now, look, greens across the board. So in the DC6, this engine stress visualizer is a really quick and easy way, rather than having to know all the book numbers for the cylinders and everything. You can just use the visualizer, have a quick glance at it, and then obviously you can figure out what to do based on the indications it gives you. Okay, so we should be able to tune the next leg, so 188 degrees, because you can see we're going to come onto that radial on, well, the reciprocal side of the VOR, but 188 degrees. Let's go and get that tuned in. So 188. It's probably going to be about there. And because we are travelling at an angle to it, you'll see the CDI come in before we get to it. So you can see we're 23 miles out at the moment, so we're a little bit north of it. But then we'll swing down, so the wind is, yeah, the wind has lessened, which is why we're starting to push back away from the track. So we want to be turning to about probably 195 to hold against the wind. The CDI is coming in now, look. Okay, let's start a very gentle turn towards 195 degrees then. Which will be that marker there. You can just see the directional gyro turning. Okay, we'll stop the turn. And we should be now going that way. And we should have picked up by now 279 on the, yeah, so the ADF is now pointing, obviously we're flying directly towards the non-directional beacon. But it will swing across us at any point, so the needle will start moving. How are the engines looking? So, have we got room to speed up a bit, maybe? Let's go and have a look at that cylinder head temperature down here. So I've just opened, oh, that's interesting. We've got one difference from one side to the other. Have we got a difference up here as well? No, they're looking the same. And so are they. It's a little bit of fuel flow difference. So why do we have a difference in terms of, oh, the wind side of the aeroplane and the leeward side of the aeroplane, maybe. I'm not sure if it simulates it that accurately, but well, no, because they're both on the same wing. How strange. Just a bit of variability happening. I mean, it's only a couple of degrees, or no, it's 20 degrees, but it's this side of the aeroplane's fine, look, and this side isn't. Yeah, it is still climbing though, isn't it? So I'm not going to take too many chances. I'm going to pull the power back a little bit more. You notice there's a slight discrepancy here as well with the amount of manifold pressure between the two engines. So this one's got slightly more pressure, but at least they're even. The fuel flow between those two engines though is slightly different. Only a tiny bit, but sorry, it just brings back memories. Flying this aeroplane, you end up just obsessing over the gauges all the time. I didn't really, just have another look, honest. Okay, so we're about to come past the VOR, so take no notice of this now. So we could go and tune in the next one. So 11060. And that's now reading 99 miles to go. And we want to be on the 189 degree radial, which we're showing there. We're off to the left of it at the moment relative to where we are. And if we look here, you can see that's exactly what's going on. But we're not a million miles away, so we'll leave it where it is. Hi Sarah, what can you tell us about the Gulf of Thailand?
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, no reported traffic in Gulf of Thailand.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Hi Sarah, what can you tell us about the Gulf of Thailand?
The Gulf of Thailand is a shallow arm of the South China Sea, famous for its warm waters, coral reefs, and islands. It's a major route for fishing boats and has been a key part of maritime trade for centuries.
It's funny, have any of you ever looked on YouTube and heard where the pilot has keyed the cabin, or thought he was keying the cabin, and has communicated his cabin communication, so telling everybody where they're going, to all of the nearby traffic? It's very common that it happens, and everybody has a good laugh about it. And you hear obviously all the other pilots then keying in to respond. So you can see the non-directional beacon is disappearing behind us now. We're probably heading towards halfway now. Shall we have a look at the navigation charts on Navigraph? Oh, I was going to record this in Volanta. Should we go and fire it up? We can do this mid-flight in Volanta. It won't hurt it. So if we open Volanta, if you've never seen Volanta before, it's a really nice tracking system. So it's realised we're in the air. Look, we're in November 6 Papa Bravo, which is a DC6, and we can add a flight plan, and it should pick up the sim brief one, and it has. It's interesting that it hasn't moved around the world. Oh, it's because it's got this. It's got a navigation bug. The very same thing happened to Navigraph, and they had to correct it. So that's a shame, isn't it? So you can come up here and you can edit the route. edit flight plan, and we can enter a text route, and it will be, I think it was NTW was wrong, so I'll just take that out of the flight plan as far as this is concerned. No, it's still got it wrong. Okay, I think I fixed it here. Because what we could do is go in here, go add that one, remove that one. Yeah, I think it was this that was wrong. If I go and add that and remove that, go flight plan, copy that to the clipboard. There we go. You can see that, and there's us. So if you've never seen Volanta before, it records your flights. So you can see, obviously I'm doing this flight right now, but if I go and look in flights, I can see all of my previous flights, and you can see them dotted around all over the world. The ones where I've used Volanta, obviously. But where it's quite cool is if you pick a particular flight, so obviously this is the one I'm doing right now, what it's actually doing, if we go and change the layers to show satellite mode, you can see it in 3D. And you can see almost like a Tron slice of your three-dimensional position. So obviously it will show your climb and descent, and it color codes it. So if we look at a previous flight I did, so there was one I did the other evening with my air, and we flew from Canada over towards New York, and we did the runway 31 visual, the expressway. So you can see there's me flying down the expressway over New York, descending as I go, coming around the back of the stadium onto runway 31 into LaGuardia. But obviously you can see the whole rest of it. You can see top of descent was over here somewhere. Actually no, it's way back here, look. So we obviously had step descent, I'd forgotten that. It's cool, isn't it? Obviously you can see the climb out at the other end from where we left from. Anyway. You can see the aircraft you've used as well. If they are real aeroplanes, it uses planespotters.net to go and pick up a picture of the aeroplane. It's good fun though. So if we go and put this back to where we are, and obviously we can recenter the map and play all the games with turning layers on and off and weather and things like that. But obviously you can follow your friends as well, and you can track other aeroplanes. So these are all people playing with flight simulators. If you come in here, you can say at the moment we're showing everybody, look. So if we turn off some of the other networks, you can see, I want to see everyone using Volanta, for example. Then I can add VATSIM to that. Then I can add IVAO to that, and Pilot Edge, and so on and so forth. It's good fun, but you just leave it running in the background and it records your flight for you. Okay. The other thing I can look at to show you is transmitter, which I think I've shown before on the channel. If you go to add-ons, it's available from Virtual Flight Online. It's a little program you run. So here it is, and if I disconnect it and put my call sign in today, which is N6 Papa Bravo. Connect. So what this is going to do is just broadcast our position to the internet, but then we can use that information. And if we go and look in here, at the moment you'll see just my LittleNavMap aeroplane. If I turn on online players, that was my last broadcast as my air call sign. But you can see November 6 Papa Bravo every 5 seconds now is being updated. And that goes for anybody using transmitter wherever they are. So if we zoom out far enough, there's a group flight happening over here, look. Whole group of people. But where it's quite nice is it's got its own, you don't need to use LittleNavMap, it's got its own radar display. So if you came over here and we go and look at that group flight that was going on, and you can see all the call signs and you can drag them around. And it remembers where you've dragged them to, so as they all move, you can also turn on trails behind the aeroplanes. So, which will become more obvious in a moment or two. There we go, there's the trails appearing. It can also do obviously all the other stuff around, like showing satellite layers, things like that. You can also show a longitude latitude grid if you wish. I think it can do sectors as well. I think I added that on. Yeah, there we go. It takes a second or two for the sectors to appear. Oh, maybe it can only do sectors for the US, maybe, because they are public information. Yeah, I think that's true. But it can show weather as well. You have to zoom out a bit to see the weather. There you go. So you get the weather radar. Obviously you can see me flying down here. November 6 Papa Bravo. The whole point of this is so while you're flying online with friends you can see where each other are. So particularly if you're in a group flight. It can also do a few tricks, like you can do bearing measurements across the map. You can do radius measurements as well, and you can make them stick. So if you hold control on when you do the measurement, it stays there. Yeah, so you can do all sorts of things with decorating the map up, and it stays on the map. And zooms in and out, obviously. You can change the colouring. You can go to Mapbox as well if you have an API key. I'm trying to remember what else it does. You can see a list of who's using it at the moment. There's quite a few people online this evening using it. And you can see, obviously you can go and go towards where they are and it will fly towards them. So there's this guy. It's quite cool, isn't it? So then you can track them as well. So if you click the little button, the screen will start moving with him. Give it a second until it updates. There it goes. If you want it to move smoothly, you can do that as well. So it's got this idea of interpolation, which you can turn on. At the next update, it will start moving smoothly. And there it goes, look. Anyway, should we go and get back to the sim and see what we were doing? Turn off the online. So they're obviously flying into Lukla, aren't they? Oh my word, that's a bit of a dangerous one this evening they're doing. So we're still heading in towards the VOR here, Surat Thani. Hi Sarah, what can you tell us about Surat Thani?
Surat Thani is a city in southern Thailand known as the City of Good People, and it's a gateway to the famous islands of Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao. It was officially founded in 1915 and sits along the Tapi River, serving as a hub for river and sea transport.
There we go. So this is the actual city here then. And there's the airport, a couple of miles to the west. Well, I say couple, 20 miles to the west. So if I make this smaller, go Windows, open window layout, minimal. All I've done is turned all the bars off so we can see where we are. I'll drag this to there. And then get rid of the task bar at the bottom. There we go. So you get a nice view of where we are. So we're tracking the intended track pretty accurately at the moment. Okay, so while that's happening, I can open up my web browser on another screen and tell you a little bit about some of these places beyond what Sarah might have told us. So it's known affectionately, so Surat Thani basically is known affectionately as the City of Good People. It's the largest province in southern Thailand. Thousands of travellers pass through daily, using it as a transit gateway to the world famous, as we heard, Gulf of Thailand islands. So Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, Koh Phangan and Koh Tao. So there's a few natural wonders. The Khao Sok National Park is a nature reserve containing one of the oldest evergreen rainforests in the world. Visitors can experience the dramatic landscapes with towering limestone karsts, deep valleys and rare wildlife such as tapirs, hornbills and the giant Rafflesia flower. Chao Lan Lake is a breathtaking 185 square kilometre artificial lake located within the heart of Khao Sok National Park, created by the construction of the Rajaprabha Dam. It is famous for its emerald green waters and dramatic limestone pillars. So that's where you often see the photographs of people with the the rock poking out of the ground. Or out of the water, I should say. Chao Lan Lake. Let's have a look for that on... I wonder if it will turn up on LittleNavMap if we make it bigger. So there's the city. Coon Lake. There's the dam. So this is going to be where... This is the lake, isn't it? Though it's not labelled as such, because there's the dam that caused it. Interesting. Be good to go and fly through there, wouldn't it, with a little aeroplane to see all these inlets. Floating resorts, look, around the rock structures. And they're going to be everywhere, aren't they? Okay, so we've got a lovely comment in the live stream comments. Somebody saying, finally caught one of your streams. I have to say your videos are really entertaining and you provide a lot of info on your videos that I really appreciate. Learned a lot from them. Thank you very much. It's always lovely getting nice messages. To be honest, all I'm really doing is sharing what I'm up to. And there's an old saying in England that a rising tide lifts all boats. So I think, and I'm an old proponent of open source software as well. So if I tend to find anything worth knowing, I'd like to share it, because then it'll benefit others. So as I've been busy learning how the airplanes work in Flight Simulator, I've been obviously just sharing what I've learned along the way and writing it up. Some of the airplanes aren't documented very well in the sim, so I try to solve that. I don't go over the top. I create what I call functional procedures, which is basically the bare bones to get the airplane working in a semi-correct manner. Obviously you can embellish them enormously, but they get people up and running. PMDG is a bit of a monster, isn't it? I wonder what the range is of the DC6, DC6, isn't it? What is the DC6A? What is the range of the DC6A aircraft? So, if tuned properly and flying at the right altitude, about 4,000 miles, 4,500 miles.
Bangkok Control, Malindo 528, flight level 370.
So it can literally fly 10 times further than we are today. Okay, so we need to start thinking about this turn really. So if we go and have a look at this, we're going to be coming into this VOR and then heading off to the next one. We want 126 degree to 11740. So if we go and jump back inside, wait for the cockpit to draw itself, change the frequency on the radio, which appears to be a little bit broken, but we can flick it back. 11060. We want to change it to 11740. Switch that back to active. We want the 127 degree radial. So we'll go and look at the nav instrument and turn the omni-bearing selector to 127 degrees, which is about there. So then banking on the wind, we'll have wind pushing us, so we probably want to be about 130 130, 135 degrees when we turn left. Okay, but we won't turn left until we're a bit closer. We can see at the moment this is showing the distance to where we just tuned into. If we tune this into 11060 on nav 2, and then turn the DME over to look at nav 2 instead of nav 1, we can see when we're close. So 3 minutes basically, and then we make our turn. So it's counting down that at the moment. And you'll see the CDI is starting to go, look. So we need to turn left to 127. Let's start turning. So just watching the directional gyro rotate until we're going roughly the right direction. I'm going to stop the turn for the moment and we'll just intercept. The advantage of not flying straight over the top of the beacon is you don't lose the signal. Obviously the reason this isn't showing a wild deviation is because we've tuned into the next beacon, which is, how far away is it? 60 miles away. So it's only showing a small offset. 'Cause if imagine drawing a triangle between where we are, if I do that there, like that, and then like that, that's why we only see a small deviation on the CDI, because relative to the length of the triangle, the width of it is short, therefore it only deviates a little bit. I'm going to get rid of this one now. Okay, we'll start our left turn again. Turn the rest of the way to 127 degrees. Now, we did say the wind is going to try and push us, so we'll stop turning early. So we probably want about 130, don't we? 130 to 135, which is kind of what I've just done. So fingers crossed that'll be fairly good to get us across the hills. Now we need to be aware of the height of these hills, so let's have a look. They're in meters, so times by 3 to turn them into feet. So that's 1,000 meters, 1,200 meters, 1,500. I don't think we're going to have anything in our way really. It's just here. There's a high ridge. So times 3 is 3,000 feet. probably 4,000 or 5,000. We should be good. We should have good clearance. If we stray further this way, we won't. This peak will probably be higher than us. But this far away from it, what's the range? It's only a mile though, look. A mile and a half. So, as long as we stay fairly accurate, and we are this side of the track at the moment, although we are converging on it. Let's go a few more degrees to the left. Obviously you'll be able to see the hill in front of us. It's not like we've got zero visibility. And you can see there it is, look. We're going to go down the side of it. Well, that's the plan anyway. Hopefully we'll be high enough. We'll have to keep an eye out when we get there. You can cheat in LittleNavMap, obviously. You can, if we open the window layout back to default, to get the toolbar back, you can do this, and you can see that, look. There it is. So along the track, there's the high point, which is the ridge we were talking about, right here. Obviously I can kill the autopilot and take over if I have to. Hi Sarah, what can you tell us about the mountains that are directly in front of us?
Those mountains ahead are part of the Nakhon Si Thammarat Range, which stretches down the Malay Peninsula, and is known for its dense rainforests, dramatic limestone cliffs, and as a habitat for rare wildlife like clouded leopards and hornbills.
There we go. Hi Sarah, can you tell us a bit more about the history of this part of the world?
Bird 1-5, roger.
Absolutely. This region of southern Thailand has been inhabited for thousands of years, once serving as a crossroads for ancient maritime trade between India, China, and the Malay archipelago. Archaeological finds show evidence of early settlements and trade, dating back to the Srivijaya Empire, which flourished from the 7th to the 13th centuries. The area has seen influences from Hinduism, Buddhism, and Islam over the centuries, and was a vital stop for traders moving spices, ceramics, and textiles. Even today you can find remnants of old trading ports and temples tucked away in the landscape.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, contact Bangkok Control on 125.7.
So Amanda should do
Bangkok
it.
Control on 125.7.
And there she
Douglas
goes.
6 Papa Bravo. Bangkok Control, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. Good afternoon, maintaining 5,000.
Now, I wonder if they will tell us to climb to avoid the hills.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, Bangkok Control, identified. Good afternoon, Surat Thani QNH 1009er.
Let's go and check those QNHs.
Surat Thani QNH 1009er.
Oh, they're
Douglas
giving us
6
them in
Papa Bravo.
hectopascals. We want them in inches, really. Let's ask the co-pilot if she can do that for us. Hi Amanda, can you convert that QNH into inches for me?
The QNH 1009er converts to approximately 29.80 inches of mercury.
Oh, we're fine. I should say thank you for that, shouldn't I? Thank you.
You're welcome, Jonathan.
Okay, so we are going to pass by, and you can see that ridge was just higher than us. Shall we scoot past Amanda to have a look outside of her window? Or we could do this from outside, couldn't we?
Bangkok Control, Bangkok Air 248, flight level 330.
Bangkok Air 248, roger.
Now, according to my map, there's nothing in our way at the same sort of altitude. The hills we can see over there are here, so we are good to go. And these hills are nowhere near as high, look. So there's nothing hiding in this cloud that we need to know about. Famous last words. Just see the comment in the live stream. Your kindness will be rewarded when the robots rise up. No, I played Rise of the Robots. It was awful. So I'm not anticipating anything remotely good from robots. I remember the hype around Rise of the Robots. Anybody less than about 40 years old won't have a clue what Rise of the Robots was unless they are really into retro video games from the 1990s. Or late 80s, I think it may even have been. And yeah, speaking with a little bit of authority, I work with AI all the time at work. I work for a Microsoft partner, one of the biggest ones, and we're aligning ourselves to become a frontier partner. So we're leaning quite heavily on AI. I will say now, the word, using the word intelligence is really the wrong word. It's machine learning, and there's an awful lot of effort required in getting a machine to learn anything, because it has no common sense unless you give it that common sense, which means framing everything and providing guardrails around everything to avoid it not doing anything dangerous but doing anything ridiculous. Anyway. Yeah, it's the subtle things that we do as humans that machines find really, really difficult to do with reasoning. Because they don't understand, they have no domain knowledge of anything unless they are given it. And that's the real problem. So any semblance of intelligence is a parlor trick. Okay, we are closing in on the next beacon, so I need to go and sort our navigation out. Let's go and have a look at that. So we want to be leaving this beacon on a heading of 154 degrees. So we are already flying towards 11740. So we want to be leaving 154, so what we'll do is change the Omni bearing selector to 154 degrees, which now says the track is off to one side of us, and of course it does, because we have said basically we've just changed the radial to that, essentially. So it's saying it's off to our left, which is what that's saying, yeah. But we can also see the countdown. So when we get closer, we'll start turning to 154 before we get there. We'll obviously see that converge as we get closer to it as well. In that last few moments, the CDI will sweep in. But probably too quickly for us to react. So we can start turning with maybe 3 miles to go. To get the course to 150 degrees. Now, based on the wind as well, the wind's going to be pushing us away from the track. So we probably want a bit more than that. We probably want high 150s, 160 degrees maybe. So we just wait for the DME to count down to about 2 or 3 miles and then we'll start our turn. Just gently turning ourselves through about 30 degrees. To do that, we will be rotating the gyro pilot. Now we could do the same trick as earlier to make sure we don't lose the signal. We could cut down the side of it. So if we began our turn early and then don't progress it too far, so if we take it to say 140 degrees, we'll cut down the side of the VOR. So you can see the needle is starting to spin away from us. Because this white needle is pointing straight at the VOR relative to us going that direction. So that will go sweeping down the side of the aeroplane. See? And you'll also see that this is staying fairly consistent at the moment. It will draw in towards us and then we'll turn the last little bit. See, we're about to pass the VOR. If we look out sideways, we can probably see it. Yeah, it's going to be on the edge of this airfield somewhere. They're circular normally. There it is. Or it could be there. That's probably a better candidate actually. That'll be the VOR. And if we look here, yeah, looking at the direction of that, it was the one that was there. Okay, so now we just wait for the needle to come in. Well, this should start to grow now. Yep, the distance getting further away, look. And then we'll start turning further. So we want to turn right. To about 160. So there's 150, 155.
Bangkok Control, Mentari 713, flight level 180.
Mentari 713, roger.
If we look, we should be... So remember I was guesstimating the effect the wind would have on us. It's dropped off, look. So we're actually cutting back in this side.
Control, China Southern 5047,
so we don't need quite that amount of deflection. So let's pull our course back to somewhere between 155 and 160 will do. There we go. Okay, so we can go and tune the next VOR, 11350. Obviously you can see it's pointing straight at it, 82 miles to run. And we leave the aeroplane chugging along. It's probably worth having a look at the engine gauges. No, everything's green across the board. We're good. I was going to say, the weather hasn't changed dramatically, so I wouldn't have imagined the engines would have to be reconfigured. And we can open LittleNavMap up, go and open the minimal layout, put it over to one side for ourselves, just so we can see when we need to take care of the next part of the route. Yeah, just reading that comment in the live stream about AI being similar to a teenager. It kind of is. I would say less than that though. AI is kind of like having a brilliant toddler that has fantastic reading ability, fantastic comprehension, is overly optimistic about everything, because it wants to please you. It wants to answer you with an answer to whatever you've asked, and it will make it up if it doesn't know. Just reading the comment there, hoping that Flight Simulator or Asobo would have done a world update for Thailand, as it's a beautiful part of the world in real life. I imagine it's just down to having the data. That's usually the deciding factor. And if the data does exist, having it available at a sensible price. So having photogrammetry really just requires that they've got the flyover data from multiple directions, you know, flying the grid pattern basically with survey aircraft to then triangulate the data. Many years ago there was a project at Microsoft called Photosynth, and that's what turned into what we now know as the photogrammetry engine, where you can stitch photographs together from multiple angles and construct 3D objects out of them. So being asked, what is my favourite aeroplane to fly in the simulator? Oh, well, that's really difficult, because I tend to like all of them. And I know that winds people up. And it's also the cause of why I often make mistakes. Because I'm in a different aeroplane every day in the sim. Or not every day, I don't use the sim every day, but most days. And I'll choose something completely different every time. And that could be, you know, from a 747 to an A320 to a Spitfire to a DC6 to whatever it has been recently, the Constellation, the Phenom, the Citation Sovereign that just came out recently, the Phenom, there's all sorts, isn't there? And I love loads of them. The fun for me is in figuring out how things work. So it's always a bit of a journey. And if ever you followed any of my live streams, you'll often see me make mistakes. But I think I was talking to somebody about this earlier. I think there's a lot more value in digging your way out of a hole than never having fallen in it. Because if nothing ever goes wrong, you don't really learn how things work. So I guess it's catching it when it starts to go wrong, isn't it? And figuring out how to stop it going wrong any further. That's the real skill. DC6 is great fun, so is the Constellation. I think the DC6 is more polished. Some of the old Warbirds are good as well. The Lancaster is good. I haven't flown the Lancaster for ages, by the way. I need to have a go at that, have a look at it. I do prefer the civilian planes over the military planes, though, it has to be said. But the older airliners, I've just seen the comment about the 727-200. It's great fun, isn't it? So yeah, INS navigation is a piece of work. And the accurately simulated ones are even worse, because you only get about, is it 9 waypoints you can program in? They didn't have much RAM, did they? So you end up having to reprogram during the flight. Obviously, the airplanes in the sim give you some shortcuts to fill its head up with all of the legs and things like that. But if it's simulating it accurately, then yeah, you end up reprogramming all the time. I will admit I tend to be lazy and just switch on the Garmin if it's available, which is what was retrofitted into most of the 7.2s. The reason a lot of them never had the INS system, I read up about this, and the reason they didn't was because it was so expensive. And then obviously technology moved forwards very quickly during that era, and the Garmin's arrived and they were retrofitted into a lot of the older airliners. That's why you quite commonly see a GNS 530 or a GNS 430 strapped on top of the glare shield of the old airliners. I think the TriStar did exactly the same thing. TriStar had some fantastic hardware on board. It was like, you know, world leading at its time, especially in terms of VNav. But they retrofitted Garmin's into them. It was all of those planes of that era, so the early the 7.2s, the early 7.3s, and the MD-11s, they call them L1011s, don't they, in the US, the TriStars. They were all during that era when the technology changed. Hi Sarah, what's the name of this body of water that's coming up in front of us?
That's the Gulf of Thailand, coming up in front of us.
No, I don't mean the main Gulf. There's an inland waterway to our right.
That inland waterway to our right is the Tapi River, which winds through Surat Thani and is one of the most important rivers in southern Thailand, supporting local agriculture and transport.
Isn't that Songkhla Lake that's right in front of us?
No, that's not Songkhla Lake in front of us. It's the Tapi River, a major waterway in southern Thailand.
That told me. I think she's wrong, by the way. I'm not going to argue with her. I was going to be pedantic then and say to her that it looks like a lake to me. The far end of it is a lake. Okay, how are we doing on the route? So we're well over halfway now. So a few little legs. There's an NDB in the middle of the next one. And then we end up crossing over into Malaysian airspace. It's worth having a little look actually while we're flying. where we might be going next. So obviously we can see we're following or VOR hopping along the coast of Thailand at the moment, southern Thailand. It's going towards the Malaysian border. So the next flight will obviously be doing pretty much the same thing along the coast of Malaysia. But I think then we'll... Yeah, I don't know. I think probably go down Sumatra through Sumatra. Obviously the Javanese islands go all the way along here, don't they? Then Timor, or do we cut across to Indonesia? I think it might be good fun, mightn't it, to try and fit in as many countries as possible. That does mean making a sea crossing at some point. If I do that, though, we miss... Do we go to Borneo? We hit more countries if we go this way, don't we? So if we came down... We could do this crossing across these islands, I guess. And then we get to cross right the way through the middle of a lot of these on our way. Then come down to Papua New Guinea. Cross over to Australia. Come down the coast. So probably get as far as... Where are we? Where's Hamilton? There's the Whitsundays. Yeah, here we go. So we could go from Hamilton maybe, or go down as far as Brisbane, and then cut across and start island hopping to get as far as we can on sensible lengths of journey. And then, yeah, so once we get to French Polynesia, we could jump and get in a big jet, fly straight across to... Now, which one do we do? How big is the runway here? Okay, that looks like a good potential route. And then over towards Chile, up the coast, through South America, across the eastern seaboard of the US. We're talking multiple legs to do all of this, by the way. Each country will be multiple legs. And then up the northeastern side of Canada, over to Greenland, Iceland, and then back to home, where we started. I think that's probably a good route. For the moment, though, we're just trundling along down the coast of Thailand, doing our best. The water crossing is not going to be a problem, just reading the live stream comments, because yeah, the big jets can do tremendous ranges.
Bangkok Control, Scooter 610, flight level 310.
And to be honest, if I did it at a weekend, I could use the DC6. Because as we've read earlier, the DC6 can do 3,000 miles easily. So we're going to measure some of those. So we're looking at, yeah, from French Polynesia then. So yeah, that's within range of the DC6. And that is easily. The DC6 could get to the other side of Brazil from there. So obviously once those big, although we could use float planes. Oh, the Latico Air. That would be great fun, wouldn't it? Getting the Latico Air here, just in the bay, take it off and trundle its way across. Let's just check its range. It's the Model 631, isn't it? That would be awesome. 3,000 miles. Nautical miles. So 3,200 nautical miles, so it could do it. Okay, so we are coming in on this VOR, so we're going to tune in the next one very soon. Let's go and jump in the cockpit. So you can see us coming in towards it. Let's clear the message out of the way. I wonder what happened to that. It's obviously a bug, but it's a nasty one. I've never seen that happen with the Garmin before, where it lost the ability to tune one of the frequencies. It's almost like its RAM has failed. So we want to leave this VOR on a course of 128 degrees. That is counting down, so that's good. So if we go and change the OBS to 128, which is going to be about there-ish. It appears the directional gyro doesn't drift. Well, it hasn't done so far. One, two, eight. Oh, apologies for that. Just yawning on the microphone. So our destination is within range now. It's about 120 miles away, look. 160 miles even. No, 120. What am I talking about?
Firefly 2702, contact Lumpur radar on 134.25.
Engines are all still at the green. So we're just waiting for the CDI to sweep in, and then we'll just change the heading. It's going to be a little while yet. Probably another 15 miles until that will happen. The next VOR, actually there's no VOR, look, so we're going to just have to fly towards the NDB so we can get that tuned in on the way. 201 on the ADF, so let's go do that. And you'll see the ADF come alive when we get near it. Obviously we're not going to be near it for quite some time. They typically have about a 30 or 40 mile range, so we might pick it up when we pass the VOR over here. Let's go window, open layout, go back to default so we get the tools to play with. So Paul is asking in the live stream, says, I have taken a break from Flight Sim for 4 months now. Have I missed much? Yes, there was a sizable aircraft and avionics update that landed a couple of weeks ago that should have been part of Sim Update 5 as far as I'm aware, but it got delayed. I'm guessing because of the workload of getting the PlayStation and the Xbox versions all updated and working nicely, which they are still not. There are bugs, but there is a hotfix being worked on apparently. But yeah, the aircraft and avionics update means we now have the ATR, we have the Latécoère, we have, oh crikey, there was another airplane as well which escapes me at the moment, but several airplanes that have not been in 2024 yet have appeared. And if you owned them previously, then you got them for nothing, obviously. There's several new pieces of avionics hardware that are being simulated now as well. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. Other than that, there's several different new aeroplanes have come out. There's a very good business jet has come out from Skyward Simulations called the Cessna Citation Sovereign. It's probably amongst the best of the business jets.
Bravo. Contact Bangkok Control on 123.905.
Contacting Bangkok Control on 123.905. Douglas 6 Papa Bravo.
Okay, so we're going to start to make this turn then to
Papa Bravo. Good afternoon, maintaining 5,000.
We don't want 127 because of the wind, probably about 123, 124. So we'll start our left turn anyway.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, Bangkok Control identified. Good afternoon, QNH 1009.
You can see the CDI is coming in, look. Which is what we
Bangkok
predicted.
Control, Thai Air Asia 3135, flight level 170.
QNH 1009er. Douglas 6 Papa Bravo.
Hi Amanda, can you tell me that QNH in inches again?
The QNH 1009er converts to approximately 29.80 inches of mercury.
Yeah, we're fine. Thank you. But we've turned too far now. I'm going to take this out to about 127, 128 degrees because of the wind. Otherwise we'll just get blown further and further away from the track. Let's tell Amanda we'll do the radio comms name. Hi Amanda, I can take over radio comms for the rest of the flight.
Okay, Jonathan. You're in charge of the radio communications now.
Yeah, just reading the live stream comments, there's several airplanes coming out from Just Flight, aren't there, that have been in development for a long time. I don't know about any VR improvements, I'm sorry. I know there was a big announcement about VR, or I think the aircraft avionics update, or may have been Sim Update 5, was supposed to bring VR to the PlayStation 3, because obviously the PlayStation 3 has got a dedicated VR headset that works really nicely. But I've not seen it, so I couldn't tell you. I've been approached by Pimax many times over the last couple of years to have one of their review units to do YouTube videos. And I've always countered them and said, I can't see how I can demonstrate a 3D headset on a YouTube video. Because I've used VR. It's all about the personal experience, and you can't tell somebody how good it is without them putting the headset on. And yes, VR is a game changer, but you need to have the headset on. Okay, so we're pretty much tracking alongside, and we should, oh, we still haven't picked that up, look. Has it got like a 20-mile range on the ADF or something? Did I forget to change the frequency over. No, 201, it's on active. It's probably about a 10 or 15 mile range or something crazy, isn't it? The arrow hasn't moved, look. It's fine. We can just... We'll fly this radial until we're 40 miles away. And then we'll tune the next one. In fact, should we... It's slightly off, isn't it?
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, prepare to descend in roughly 20 minutes.
Preparing to descend in about 20 minutes. Douglas Papa Bravo. So yeah, I can't demonstrate VR, so there's no point me showing it on YouTube, because the experience of VR only works if you're wearing the headset. If you're seeing it in 2D, you're not seeing the VR. Okay, I could demonstrate how accurate the headset tracking is, and it would be more accurate than a Tobii eye tracker. But beyond that, I can't really do anything with it.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, turn right heading 160.
Why? Oh, so they're taking me away. Turning right heading 160, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. Okay, we'll start following the vectors. So our radio navigation goes out the window now, and we're following air traffic control vectors. So we're just rotating. Now, does the airfield we're coming into have ILS? Yeah, it doesn't suit the wind though. We'll be coming in the opposite direction. Okay, there's our 160. I wonder if they're going to bring us round the far side of the airfield, or if there is something they're wanting us to... Oh, they're bringing us away from this airfield, and it's a military airfield. But the wind is pushing us back in towards the airfield, so I'm going to turn a few more degrees just to avoid the sector before we get told off. Because the game we're playing here is they would have told us there, look. They still would have put us into the... See what happens. So that's the first heading we've been given, was 160. I'm going to stay on the course I am to avoid this. If we click in here, we can find out. Controlled IFR, ATC clearance required, Class C from 0 to 2,000 feet. Then 2,000 to 11,000 feet, controlled IFR. Yeah, so it's controlled airspace. Which may be why he's done that, but they've not given us quite the angle to avoid it entirely. They probably just want us to stay out of this bit. Ours is not to question. So we got some hills over there. I've just spotted them. I don't think they're as high as we are. I think we'll fly over the top quite easily. Hi Sarah, is Patani a military airfield? Can we see it?
Patani Airport,
There it is.
VTSK, is a public airport, but it has also been used by the military at times.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, we've been vectored by ATC. It looks like we're avoiding it.
Yes, Patani Airport has been used by both civilian and military aircraft in the past, so ATC may vector flights to avoid military operations or training exercises in the area.
Yeah, makes sense. Need to bring the power down soon. We'll keep chugging on at the speed we're going. 5,000 feet. It's a big old beast of an aeroplane, isn't it, this thing? It's very cool. How are we doing for fuel? Lots. I put all that fuel in it at the start. We've hardly scratched it. It's mad, isn't it? This thing can fly for hours and hours and hours. Start turning left again. Back to the course where they actually wanted us. They wouldn't bring us in on an earlier airfield, would they? So I'm guessing we're going to come in visually runway 28. So I wonder if they'll bring us out to over this lake somewhere maybe, and then do that.
Bangkok Control, Hotel Sierra X-Ray X-Ray Sierra, flight level 180.
I wonder. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Turn left 100. I bet. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out what happens, won't we? And then I guess once we get clear of the hills, we can start descending as well while we're going downwind. Of course, I could always just cancel the IFR flight plan at this point and fly straight in. Be interesting to see what they do though. So we're about 50 miles away from our ultimate destination. Should we have a look on... we had Volanta running, didn't we? We have to... if you go back to the flight, there it is. Yeah, updates about every 8 or 10 seconds, I think, Volanta. So you'll see the aircraft suddenly move again in a moment. Famous last words. Maybe they've slowed the cadence down. Oh, I used to have a paid account and they haven't anymore. That probably explains why I'm only getting very slow updates. Anyway, we'll leave that running. Are they going to get us to turn to 100 degrees? I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, contact Khota Bharu approach on 120.85.
Contacting Khota Bharu approach 120.85, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. Khota Bharu approach, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo with you about 50 miles to the west at 5,000 feet.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, Khota Bharu approach identified. Good evening, QNH 1010. Expect the RNAV Zulu runway 28 approach into Khota Bharu. Let me know you've got information, Echo.
We have information, Echo, expecting RNAV Zulu runway 28 approach into runway 28.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, contact Bangkok Control on 123.905.
Contacting Bangkok Control 123.905, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. That was a bit pointless. Oh, we've just crossed vectors, haven't we? Sectors even. There. And then we'll be on another one in a moment. What are we doing? Bangkok Control, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo with you about 50 miles west of our destination at 5,000 feet.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, Bangkok Control, identified. Good evening, Baton QNH 1010.
QNH 1010, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. Do you know, I'm going to just make this turn myself when we get over the lake. It is odd that they've sent us all the way out here. It does kind of make sense though. I would imagine the airport... Well, let's have a look actually. If I go to show arrivals, we want the RNAV Yankee, wasn't it? He said for 28. He didn't say anything about a transition. So insert the approach. So that just takes you out to this marshalling point here. So if you take that for, if we remove that from the plan, and we go add position to the flight plan here, and we remove that from the plan because we never did it. And we put that in the flight plan. So we need to turn left now to 100 degrees. Waiting for the directional gyro to rotate. 130, 125, 120, 115, 110, 105, and straighten up. So I imagine if you were to square this off, we'll be doing that. Or something like that. Which keeps us out of all these sectors that we don't need to be in until we come in for our final run in on Yankee. RNAV Yankee. So RNAV just means area navigation. So if you were to go and look that up in, if I look at the right window, it depends. I don't know. They may not have it in here. Let's have a look. So there's the airfield. If we go to charts and we want the approach charts, RNAV Yankee runway 10, 10, 10, runway 28, there it is. Pin it. Can we overlay it? Yes, we can. So that's showing you basically what we saw in LittleNavMap look. So it's coming in here. KC369. But the reason it says area navigation is, yeah, so these are all given in terms of their distances from things.
Papa Bravo, turn right, heading 160.
Oh, they don't want us this close, do they? Oh, because of the hills. So let's do that. We are avoiding these hills, which we would have been clear, but there was good reason for it then. They're a bit, this range here was a little bit taller than we thought. It's fine. So what range is, what altitude? Oh look, yeah, 1200. 1200, 1400. I've turned too far now. Just check what's in front of us. to be honest, because we shouldn't have been this far this way. We've done the right thing by turning more. So what we're actually doing is continuing down this route. We should have been carrying on along here. But how high are those? They're 1,000 meters. And we would have been on the lowland there, look, if we'd carried on the same track. There's something
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, turn left heading 160.
That's because we're still not doing 160. Turning left heading 160, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. I think we'll be okay now. Now we've avoided this particular hill. We could always climb. They could ask us to climb. Okay. Are they going to get us to turn in anytime soon? I think I'll keep an eye out here for a while. Do you know, I'm tempted to cancel flight IFR and just come in direct to the airfield. It's not like it's busy airspace or anything, is it? They obviously have a route they send people. I wonder if they'll do it now. Now we're over this much lower altitude route in, look. They wouldn't send us all the way out here, would they?
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, contact Lumpur radar on 123.75.
Contacting Lumpur radar 123.75, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, good day. Lumpur radar, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo at 5,000 feet.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, Lumpur radar identified. Good evening, Beton QNH 1011.
QNH 1011, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo. Why are they not getting us to turn left? There's no traffic around. There's no hills that way. I'm going to take over. Who are we talking to again? Lumpur radar. Lumpur radar, Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, terminating instrument flight following.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, roger. IFR services cancelled. Squawk VFR. Frequency change approved.
Okay, so let's ask the co-pilot. Hi Amanda, can you change our squawk to VFR, please? I bet she won't.
I can't change the squawk myself, but you can set it to 1200 for VFR.
Okay, we're going to have some fun. So, autopilot. Disengaged. We're going to make the rest of the flight fun. We've done the .60 miles we got to go, and we're going to do a low level and give the passengers something to go look at. So basic course is 60 degrees, yeah. We will call the tower at the final airport when we get closer. We're just going to have a bit of fun for a bit. Normally these round the world trips, I've done them VFR anyway. I just thought IFR today was a bit of fun to mix it up. Okay, we're down to 3,000 feet, slowly descending. The cylinder head temperature's gone cold because we've cut the power back. Because I wanted to descend without accelerating too much. We're doing 240 knots. We are shifting. Transfer some of that airspeed back into altitude. Cashing it in, basically. Okay, we are zooming in towards the airfield. We're going to need to find out the frequency for the tower. Show information. Com. Tower 122500. There we go. Khota Bharu. Or a little bit closer, we'll call them. So what's this city we're just about to pass? Of course, we could ask the tour guide. Hi Sarah, what's the name of the city we're about to pass on the left?
The city we're about to pass on the left is Narathiwat.
Can you tell us anything about it?
That is the city of Narathiwat, known for its riverside setting and proximity to the border with Malaysia.
That's all they know about it. Okay. Any more than that? Is that all you know?
Of course, Narathiwat is known for its beautiful beaches like Ao Manao, and the city is also home to the Central Mosque, one of the largest and most impressive mosques in southern Thailand. The area is famous for its traditional kite festivals, where locals fly intricately designed kites that have been a part of the region's culture for centuries. Narathiwat is also surrounded by lush forests and national parks, making it a great spot for nature lovers. And here's something, the city is a major center for birdwatching, especially during the migratory season when rare species pass through.
Okay, we're getting fairly close, aren't we? So let's go the tower. Khota Bharu Tower, Douglas, and November 6 Papa Bravo approaching from the southwest at 1,500 feet, requesting full stop landing.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, runway 28, winds 190 at 3, cleared to land.
Cleared to land, runway 28, November 6 Papa Bravo. So, we're coming in fairly quickly. and we need some time to get rid of the speed in this thing, so I'm going to start bleeding the airspeed off. If I take us back up to 2,000 feet, that will get rid of some of the airspeed. I'm going to have to move the camera to do this. Just trading some of this speed off, then we can start to extend flaps. So let's get the landing lights on. Okay, we have good visuals now. So I'll bring it in on the box pattern. And start descending. Just wondering how short I can cut it. If I lift the nose up to remove some speed and then we can drop the gear, that will give me loads of drag. Still going a bit too fast for the gear, but we'll get it to about 150. There's the runway. First stage of flaps. The drag I thought we'd get wasn't anywhere near as strong as I thought it would be. Next stage of flaps. Bring the RPM back up. Go full flaps. Trying to drop onto the glide slope, looking at the PAPI lights now.
Approaching runway 28.
Hey, we have 2 reds, 2 whites. To be honest, I'd rather be high though, than these trees are very close.
Contact ground on 121.6.
Red cap 6433, holding short of 10, ready for departure.
Contacting ground 121.6, November 6 Papa Bravo. Ground, Douglas, November 6, Papa Bravo, requesting taxi to parking.
Approaching runway 10.
Douglas 6 Papa Bravo, taxi to stand parking 11 at your discretion. Good day.
Okay, they haven't given us exact instructions. Taxi to parking at our discretion, November 6 Papa Bravo. Good day. We're going to go and park over there. Parking brake on, and now we can go and set about shutting the aeroplane down for the evening. The easiest way to get fuel out of the lines is to cut the mixture and let them starve themselves. Take the lock off. And then, having done that, you can go and go to the main fuel shutoffs. And then having done that, we can go and turn the mags off, which are up here. Turn the generators off. Now, can we have ground power attached to the aeroplane? If we go to ramp manager, we can say, give us a ground power unit, please. Then we can go over here and we can say, attach the ground power to the aeroplane, please. There we go, we have power. So now we can go and turn everything else off. Lights. I think that's pretty much it, because everything else, oh, the avionics, I guess. So do it all properly for a change. What was that sound? Our ground power unit is a battery on a trolley. Can we get the doors open? Front cabin exit, please. And front cabin stairs. And then for the passengers, we'll get the main cabin exit open. And the main cabin stairs. Magic into appearance. And then we'll get the pitot covers put back on, the wheel chocks put in place, and oil pans under the engines. And the mechanic stands near the engines to go and have a look at them. There we go. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I think you can open the engines up as well. I forget how you do it though.
Quebec, ready to taxi.
Presumably you can click over here.
Niner Mike Hotel Kilo Quebec, runway 10 taxi at your discretion.
Runway 10 taxi, our discretion, Niner Mike Hotel Kilo Quebec.
Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed that this evening. So that's another leg of the round the world done. We've now got as far as Malaysia. So as I said earlier, the next trick will be to fly down towards Singapore probably. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thanks ever so much if you've been following along, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.